I used to think of cutting out every single food group under the sun, feeling miserable, feeling deflated, and craving sugar every single hour of the day, only to see a tiny scale drop, leaving you ultimately frustrated and at a loss of what to do. If so, you're not alone and you're not broken. You've just been taught fat loss totally wrong. And in this video, I'm gonna show you the right way to do it. You see, the fad diet industry has completely ruined your relationship with food. You now look at food as good or bad. And you believe that to lose fat for summer this year and feel better in your clothes and on the beach, in your bikini, drinking cocktails with your friends, laughing without a care in the world, that you need to only eat good food and you need to cut out bad food. And this is ultimately leaving you stuck, frustrated, and every time you have a little chocolate bar, making you feel guilty and feel like you've ruined it, leading to you throwing in the towel, having a full reset, smashing back all the biscuits, and actually starting again the next Monday. The thing is, that guilt is what's screwing you over, because when you feel like you shouldn't have it, it makes you want to have it more. Rewind back to my teenage years, and I remember my mum saying, no, you're not allowed to drink any alcohol till you're 18. So what I would do, and by the way, sorry mum, is I'd sneak off to the park with my friends, get absolutely smashed in a really dodgy alleyway under a bridge somewhere. God, one at the back of that is actually really bad. Sorry mum, hope you're not watching this. And this guilt and having to hide and feel bad about it is what's keeping you stuck in that binge restrict cycle, because you feel guilty about it, you want to do it more, you cave, although hopefully not eating in an alleyway because that'd be a bit weird. And when you cave, you just can't stop. You keep going, you keep eating past the point of being full, and that is what's keeping you stuck, not the food itself, but your guilt complex around this food. Oh, and by the way, just in case we've never met before, my name's Clayton De-Netto, and I'm an online fat loss coach that's helped over 200 women break free from the toxic fad diet cycle you're stuck in right now, get results, drop fat, and feel 10 times better about themselves, to the point where their friends and family are saying, oh my God, you look amazing, how have you done it? Without giving up takeaways, wine, or nights out. Let's get something straight. You do not need to starve to lose weight for summer this year. That is what's keeping you stuck. Instead, let's dive into what you actually do need to do, and I promise you it's going to be the exact opposite to what you think. First of all, let's get something straight. Most people are massively under-eating what they need in a calorie deficit. If you're a 75 kilo woman and you're eating 1,200 calories, you're not disciplined, you're setting yourself up to fail. Instead, take your body weight in pounds and multiply it by 12 to give you a much higher calorie deficit that you can stick to, that will get you results in a sustainable manner, which will give you more energy, better focus, better abilities to be flexible. So if you want to have a takeaway, you still can, without having to worry about it ruin your progress, or worrying about it throwing you off track for another week. And what this means is you build muscle, you can stick at it so you change shape, you can stick at it so you drop fat long term, and you aren't craving sugar every single hour of the day, because you've got the calories spare to be flexible and have some chocolate when you want it. And look, let's be honest, you were eating above this number before. That's why you gained body fat. So if you're looking at thinking like, oh, I could never eat this much food, I promise you, you were already doing it. Next up, and honestly, if you only do one thing from this video, let this be the one thing you do, and that's prioritizing your protein intake. When we eat enough protein, we turbocharge our metabolism, because it takes longer for our body to break this down and actually get it to where it needs to go, which keeps our metabolism, digestive system working harder for longer, which keeps us more full, keeps us more energized. And also, protein is the essential building block for your muscles, which means if you don't get enough protein in and your resistance-based training, you're gonna recover really crappily. You're not really gonna change shape. And actually, despite the fact you could well lose weight, of course, long-term by just being in a deficit with low protein levels, your skin's gonna be all saggy. You're not gonna build any muscle. And actually, you're gonna feel really unconfident in how you feel and look, but just the opposite end, where you are skinny and not strong. And we don't want to be going back to the skinny trend, because that is something that needs to stay in the 1990s and beyond, because it is not healthy and it sucks. We want to be strong, athletic and happy, not skinny, weak and miserable. And look, don't start panicking thinking, oh my God, fuck, I need to eat all the protein in the world per meal. Just aim for 30 grams of protein per meal. Some really good examples of this, like for breakfast, 200 grams of phage yogurt or fire yogurt, however you say it, with a scoop of protein powder and a scoop of collagen. That'll be your 30 grams of protein for breakfast. Lunch, keep it simple. Wholemeal wrap, spinach, lettuce, peppers, and 150 grams of chicken breast. And then for dinner, most things that are family friendly will have 30 grams of protein, plus things like spag bowl, chicken fajitas, beef fajitas, that steak fajitas are the best thing in life. Pasta bakes, all these things, as long as you've got a source of meat in them, or halloumi if you're a vegetarian, you will be hitting 30 grams of protein in your evening meals without even really trying. But breakfast and lunch is where if we can add those two things that I just mentioned in, we suddenly go from feeling starving and massively under-eating protein to actually feeling stuffed and satisfied after every single meal without blowing our calorie deficit out of the water, meaning we've got space for extra snacks if we are hungry, or simply if we're not hungry, we've kept ourselves fuller for longer, meaning we can be in a calorie deficit easier. And guess what? We get long-term results. Woo! And next up, it's actually addressing our water intake. And this one always gets people rolling their eyes and thinking, oh, fucking hell, it's not gonna help at all. But actually, most people, when they think they're hungry, are walking around dehydrated. When you're dehydrated and you're feeling hungry all the time, what's gonna happen is you're gonna confuse thirst for hunger, and you're gonna be craving more sugar because your body needs water so it can access stored glycogen in the muscles more efficiently and more effectively. Without enough water being taken into our body through drinking, this impairs the body's ability to get the glycogen out of the muscles, meaning your body's thinking, fuck, I need sugar and I need it quick. So it's not that you're greedy, it's that your body is literally demanding it. It needs it, and it's got it stored in the muscles. But because of your not drinking water, or like being the worst one is like, I don't like water. Actually, you're doing yourself a massive disservice. And now you're thinking about sugar all day long, not because you're greedy and not because you're a fat shit, but because your body simply needs it to function effectively and keep you alive. So instead of just trying to walk around and white knuckle your way through a deficit or be more disciplined, how about you just drink 2 to 3 litres of water a day, watch your cravings disappear, stay in your calorie deficit that much easier, and guess what? Get results from this one simple change. And lastly, and this is something I haven't really spoken about before, so it's a bit of a secret hack, so make sure you don't share it with too many people, because this is the secret weapon you need to get results faster than your friends without using any injections. And that's when we get to the evenings, making simple swaps. Because after a stressful day at the kids or at work, or maybe both, it's all too easy to think, oh God, I need something, I've had such a hard day, and almost have that like reward behavior for just getting through another day, which look, I get it, life's hard. And there's nothing wrong with having a glass of wine or a chocolate bar in the evenings. But of course, if you're having bottles of wine every single evening, you're smashing back 750 calories, plus if you're having more than one bottle of wine every evening, which of course is gonna make sticking to your calorie deficit that much harder. So instead, why don't you try this? Get a diet fizzy drink, pour it in a glass of some ice, so that you can almost kid yourself into thinking that you're having an alcoholic drink. So it still gives you that relaxation, still gives you that something sweet you're after, and actually will satisfy that craving for something to fill the time when the kids are in bed, watching a TV program or film, and actually being able to unwind. This way, you're drinking 2 to 4 calories versus 750 calories. And before everyone starts going, but diet fizzy drinks have aspartame in it, okay? Do you know how much aspartame you would need to drink on a daily basis to ever risk any risks of getting cancer or anything like that? It's 15 cans a day you'd have to have. Now, if you're having 15 cans a day of diet fizzy drinks, there's another issue we need to address, okay? So having the odd 1 or 2 here and there is not gonna make you seriously, seriously ill. Now, if you can just do these 4 things on a daily basis, suddenly fat loss goes from confusing, misery-inducing, and actually feeling like a target that we can't ever achieve, to being easy, being actually, dare I say it, fun, being a journey you remember, and actually sees you change your lifestyle habits so that when you get to your dream goal, which you will, you can stay there for the rest of your life without giving up chocolate, giving up wine, or living in fear of the scales anymore. If you found this video useful, I'd really appreciate it if you could drop me a subscribe. It helps me grow the channel and ultimately reach more women just like you who are terrified and desperate to break through that toxic fad diet cycle and scared that if they eat chocolate, they're gonna put on weight, because those are the sort of people that I want to help. Have a lovely day, and I'll catch you on the next video.